Every excuse you make, every time you settle, you're choosing to stay exactly where you are. The truth is, the people who transform their lives don't have better circumstances. They've just stopped negotiating with their own potential. Imagine waking up as the person you've always known you could be. No more self-sabotage, no more playing small, just ruthless commitment to your own evolution. In few moments, I'll reveal 9 brutal rules that separate those who dream from those who become, so you stop waiting for the right time and start claiming the life you deserve. Because once you implement these rules, the old version of you won't even recognize who you've become. 1. Kill your old identity without mercy. Your biggest enemy isn't failure or harsh words from others, it's your attachment to who you've always been. You hold on to your old identity like a drowning person grabs a piece of wood, even when that very thing is pulling you underwater. The comfortable labels you've given yourself, the stories you tell about why you can't change, the person everyone expects you to be, all of it needs to disappear. Think about this carefully. Every limitation you have is just a story you've repeated so many times you've forgotten it's made up. I'm terrible with people. I don't have willpower. That's just not who I am. These aren't facts about you. They're like prison sentences you've written for yourself, and you're the one holding the key to your own cell. The most successful people in history weren't born different from everyone else, they just refused to stay the same. They understood that who you are can change. It's not carved in stone. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not what other people think about you. You are whatever you decide to become, starting right now. But here's where most people mess up. They try to change slowly, carefully, without disturbing anything in their life. That approach doesn't work. You can't make a deal with being average. You can't find a middle ground with comfort. You need to destroy the path back to your old self so completely that going backward becomes impossible. Your old identity is like an old coat that doesn't fit anymore, but you keep wearing it because it's familiar. Every morning you put on the same thoughts, the same habits, the same excuses. You act the same way you always have because that's what feels normal. But normal is exactly what's keeping you stuck. Stop telling people who you've been. Start acting like the person you want to become. When someone asks about you, don't give them your history of failures. Don't explain why you're not good at things. Instead, talk about who you're becoming. Act like that person would act. Make decisions that person would make. Your old identity will fight back hard. It will whisper in your ear that you're being fake, that you're pretending to be someone you're not. It will remind you of every time you failed before. It will tell you to go back to what's safe and familiar. Ignore that voice completely. That voice is just fear trying to keep you small and comfortable. When you feel uncomfortable in your new identity, that's not a sign you should quit, it's a sign you're growing. Like a snake shedding its skin, the process feels strange and vulnerable, but it's necessary for growth. Most people live their entire lives wearing the same identity they picked up as children. They let their past decide their future. They let other people's opinions become their reality. Don't be most people. Every single day, you get to choose who you are. Yesterday's version of you doesn't have to show up today. The person who couldn't do something last year doesn't have to be the person who tries this year. Kill your old identity without mercy, not because there was anything wrong with who you were, but because who you're becoming deserves to be born. 2. Stop asking for permission to exist. You're living your life like you need a teacher's permission slip for everything, always seeking approval before every decision, waiting for someone to tell you your dreams are acceptable, looking around the room to see if it's safe to speak up. This behavior ends today. Nobody is coming to give you permission to be extraordinary. Your parents won't do it, your friends won't do it, society certainly won't do it. They're all too busy dealing with their own worries to encourage yours. Every moment you spend waiting for someone else to say, yes, you can do this, is a moment stolen from what you could accomplish. The world doesn't owe you encouragement. It doesn't owe you support. And honestly, it doesn't care whether you succeed or fail. This isn't mean, it's actually freeing. Once you understand that nobody's opinion can stop you, you also understand that nobody's opinion is needed to start you. Think about the last big decision you didn't make, the chance you let slip away, the bold move you talked yourself out of. Now, ask yourself honestly, were you really waiting for the right moment, or were you waiting for someone to tell you it was acceptable? The hard truth is, you've been using other people's approval as an excuse to avoid taking responsibility for your own choices. Most people live like they're constantly asking, is this okay? Am I allowed to want this? Will people think I'm crazy? They treat their own desires like they need to be approved by a committee. They wait for their boss to notice them. They wait for their family to support their goals. They wait for their friends to believe in their ideas. But here's what they don't understand. While you're waiting for permission, someone else is already doing what you're afraid to attempt. While you're worried about what people might think, others are building the life you dream about. Your life is not a group project. You don't need to take a vote before making a choice. You don't need approval from people who aren't even living the life you want. Most of the people whose opinions you're worried about aren't doing anything remarkable themselves. Why are you letting them decide what's possible for you? From this moment forward, make decisions like you're the only vote that matters, because you are the only vote that matters. Your life is not run by majority rule. Stop asking everyone else what they think. Stop seeking agreement from people who will never understand your vision. The person you want to become doesn't ask for permission. They take action and handle whatever happens next. They don't wait for the perfect moment when everyone will cheer them on. They don't need someone else to say their dreams are reasonable. When you catch yourself looking for approval, remember this: the people who changed the world didn't ask permission first. They didn't wait for everyone to agree. They saw what they wanted and went after it, regardless of who thought it was a good idea. Stop living like you need permission to want what you want. Stop acting like you need approval to try what you want to try. Your dreams don't need anyone else's signature to become real. 3. Embrace discomfort like your life depends on it. Comfort is slowly destroying you. Every day you choose the easy path. You're choosing to stay exactly who you are right now. Growth doesn't happen when you're relaxed and comfortable. It happens in that scary space between who you are and who you're afraid to become. Most people treat discomfort like a dangerous enemy. They run away from hard conversations. They avoid challenging situations. They pick familiar failure over uncertain success. But discomfort isn't your enemy. It's like a compass pointing you toward everything you need to become. That nervous feeling you get before taking a risk, that's not a warning to stop. It's a signal that you're about to grow. Your brain is built to keep you safe, not to help you succeed. It will always choose what you know over what you don't know, even when what you know makes you miserable. You have to fight against this natural reaction on purpose, regularly, and without mercy. Start looking for discomfort on purpose. Wake up earlier than feels good. Have the conversation you've been putting off. Take on the project that frightens you. Every time you choose discomfort instead of comfort, you're voting for the person you want to become instead of the person you've always been. Think about a muscle that gets stronger. It doesn't grow when you're resting on the couch. It grows when you push it beyond what it's used to, when you make it work harder than it wants to. Your character works the same way. Your confidence works the same way. Your abilities work the same way. Most people spend their whole lives avoiding anything that makes them uncomfortable. They stay in jobs they hate because looking for new work feels scary. They keep quiet in meetings because speaking up feels risky. They stick with friends who don't support them because making new friends feels awkward. But here's the strange truth. The more you practice being uncomfortable, the more comfortable you become with being uncomfortable. What once seemed impossible becomes just hard. What was once hard becomes normal. Your ability to handle difficulty grows, but only when you keep pushing against what feels safe. When you feel that tightness in your chest before doing something challenging, don't see it as a reason to quit. See it as proof that you're about to do something important. That feeling means you're stepping outside the small circle where you've been living your whole life. The strongest people you know aren't strong because they never feel afraid. They're strong because they feel afraid and do what needs to be done anyway. They've learned that waiting to feel ready is just another way of saying you'll never do it. Stop waiting to feel prepared. Stop waiting for fear to go away. It won't disappear. The person you want to become isn't someone who never feels scared. They just refuse to let fear choose what they do. Every time you pick the harder choice, you're building the strength you'll need for the next hard choice. Every time you face something uncomfortable, you're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. 4. Cut toxic people without apology. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look around at your closest friends and family. Are these people living the kind of life you want? Are they pushing you to become better? Or are they comfortable with your average life because it makes them feel better about staying average themselves? Being loyal doesn't mean you have to destroy yourself for others. Just because someone has been in your life for many years doesn't mean they deserve to stay forever. Some people are meant to be one chapter in your story, not the whole book. Holding on to them is like trying to drive your car forward while only looking in the mirror behind you. The most important thing you can do is protect your energy. Every person in your life is either giving you energy or taking it away. Nobody is neutral. That friend who always has problems and drama, they're training your mind to expect trouble everywhere. That family member who finds fault with everything you do, they're teaching you to doubt yourself. That coworker who complains about everything, they're showing you how to see problems instead of solutions. You don't owe anyone the right to be part of your life. You don't need to explain why you're staying away from them. You don't need to give reasons for protecting your peace of mind. The moment someone becomes a regular source of negativity, they've lost the right to your time and attention. Think about the people who drain your energy. After spending time with them, do you feel excited about life or exhausted? Do you feel like you can accomplish anything, or do you feel like giving up? Do they celebrate your successes, or do they find ways to bring you back down? Some people are like emotional vampires. They feed off your positivity and leave you feeling empty. They dump their problems on you but never want to hear solutions. They criticize your goals and dreams because seeing you succeed reminds them of what they're not doing with their own lives. This isn't about being mean or cruel. It's about being clear about what you will and won't accept. The person you want to become needs an environment that supports growth, not one that celebrates staying the same. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for others is to walk away. Cutting people from your life doesn't mean you hate them. It means you love yourself enough to choose what's best for your future. It means you understand that not everyone who was right for your past is right for your future. You might feel guilty about this at first. You might think you're being selfish or harsh. But remember, they wouldn't hesitate to drag you down to make themselves feel better. Why should you hesitate to lift yourself up? Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better. Find people who are already living the life you want to live. Spend time with those who see your potential and encourage you to reach it. Your time and energy are precious. Don't waste them on people who don't appreciate what you're trying to build. 5. Make decisions at the speed of instinct. You're drowning in too much thinking, overthinking every move, creating lists and plans for decisions that should take moments. While you're busy making your plans perfect, other people are already learning from their mistakes and moving ahead. Speed beats perfection every single time. Your first gut feeling is usually correct. That immediate feeling you get in your stomach, that's millions of years of human development trying to guide you. But you've been taught to doubt that feeling, to question it, to bury it under layers of thinking and worry. The result? You become frozen and call it planning. The person you want to become doesn't have more information than you do. They just act on what they already know. They understand that a good decision made quickly is better than a perfect decision made too late. They know that moving forward is more valuable than being certain. Start making decisions in moments, not days or weeks. That opportunity that feels right in your gut, take it. That relationship that feels wrong, end it. That project that gets you excited, start it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Most decisions can be changed later. Most mistakes won't kill you, but the time you waste overthinking, that time is gone forever and you can never get it back. You're not being careful when you overthink, you're being scared. You're using all that analysis as an excuse to avoid the uncomfortable feeling of making a commitment. Think about the biggest regrets in your life. Are they mostly things you did or things you didn't do? Most people regret the chances they didn't take, not the chances they took. They regret the words they didn't say, the trips they didn't take, the risks they didn't face. When you have a strong feeling about something, that's your inner wisdom speaking. It's taking in thousands of tiny details that your thinking mind can't process. It's noticing patterns and connections that logic misses. But instead of trusting this wisdom, you argue with it. You make lists of pros and cons. You ask everyone else what they think. By the time you finally decide, the opportunity has often passed. The job got filled by someone who applied immediately. The person moved on because you took too long to ask them out. The business idea got started by someone else who didn't wait for perfect conditions. The world rewards those who move quickly and adjust as they go, not those who plan perfectly and never start. Most successful people will tell you they made their best decisions quickly and their worst decisions after long periods of worry and debate. Trust yourself enough to move forward. Trust yourself enough to make mistakes. Trust yourself enough to know you'll figure things out as you go, because you will figure it out. You always have in the past. The person you want to become isn't standing still, thinking about what to do. They're moving, adjusting their direction when needed, but always moving forward. Stop waiting for perfect information. It doesn't exist. Stop waiting for guarantees. There aren't any. Start trusting the voice inside you that already knows what to do. 6. Own your failures like trophies. Stop hiding from your failures. Stop feeling ashamed of your mistakes. Every scar on your life is proof you showed up to fight. Every failure is evidence you actually tried something. While other people are protecting their perfect image, you should be collecting failures like medals of courage. The world has convinced you that failure is something to be embarrassed about, that mistakes make you worth less, that you should only talk about your successes. This thinking is completely backward. Your failures are like your credentials. They prove you're actually playing the game, not just sitting on the bench watching others play. Think about the people you truly look up to and respect. They're not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who failed in big ways and kept going anyway. They talk about their failures openly because they understand something. Most people don't. Failure is just information. It tells you what doesn't work, which brings you closer to finding what does work. Starting today, own every failure completely and totally. Don't make excuses. Don't blame other people or bad luck. Don't try to make it sound smaller than it was. Instead say, I tried this approach. It didn't work. Here's what I learned from it. Watch how this changes everything around you. Watch how people start respecting you more, not less. Most people are terrified to admit when they mess up. They spend enormous amounts of energy trying to hide their mistakes or make them seem like someone else's fault. But when you openly admit your failures and what you learned from them, something powerful happens. People trust you more because they know you're honest. They respect you more because they see you're brave enough to take real risks. Your failures are proof that you're pushing yourself beyond what's comfortable and safe. Someone who never fails is someone who never tries anything difficult. Someone who never makes mistakes is someone who never attempts anything that matters. The person you want to become has failed many more times than your current self has even attempted anything. They're not afraid of failure because they've changed how they think about it. It's not a judgment on whether they're good enough. It's a stepping stone to getting better. Every failure makes them stronger, smarter, and harder to stop. Think of failure like learning to walk as a child. You didn't fall down once and decide walking was impossible. You fell down hundreds of times. Each fall taught you something about balance, about how to move your feet, about how to get back up. Eventually, all those falls turned into the ability to walk without thinking about it. Stop trying to keep a perfect record with no mistakes. Start building a collection of attempts, experiments, and bold tries. The most successful people in history have the longest lists of failures behind them. They just also have the longest lists of times they got back up and tried again. When you fail at something, don't hide it. Share it. Talk about what you learned. Show others that failure isn't the end of the story, it's just the middle part where you figure out how to write a better ending. 7. Work in silence until success makes noise. Stop talking about your goals. Stop announcing what you plan to do. Stop looking for praise for plans you haven't carried out yet. Every time you talk about what you're going to accomplish, you release the pressure that would have pushed you to actually accomplish it. There's a trick your brain plays on you when you tell people about your goals. You get a feeling of satisfaction as if you've already reached them. Their encouraging words feel like you've already succeeded. Their excitement becomes your excuse to slow down. You've traded real success for the fake feeling of progress. The most powerful people you know didn't talk about building their success, they just built it. They didn't announce they were changing their lives, they changed them quietly. By the time you noticed their success, they were already far ahead of where they started. This is exactly how you need to operate. Work like you're far behind everyone else. Build your life like nobody's watching you. Push yourself like your survival depends on it. But do all of this without telling anyone. Let your actual results be the announcement. Let your real success speak for itself. This isn't about keeping secrets from people. It's about being smart with your energy. When you work without talking about it, you get rid of distractions. You remove the pressure to show off for others. You focus on actually making progress, not on looking like you're making progress. You build something real, not just something that appears impressive to others. Most people do the opposite. They spend more time talking about their plans than working on them. They announce their new exercise routine to everyone, then quit after a week. They tell everyone about the book they're going to write, then never write a single page. They post about their business ideas, but never start the business. When you keep quiet about your goals, something powerful happens. All that energy you would have spent explaining and defending your plans gets redirected into actually doing the work. All the time you would have wasted seeking approval gets spent making real progress. Think about the people who truly impressed you with their achievements. Did they spend months telling you it was coming, or did they surprise you when they suddenly had accomplished something amazing? The people who build real success usually do it quietly, without fanfare, without asking permission, without seeking encouragement from others. Working in silence also protects you from people who might try to discourage you. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some people will try to talk you out of your goals, either because they're jealous or because your ambition makes them uncomfortable about their own lack of action. The person you want to become doesn't need other people cheering them on to stay motivated. They have an internal fire that keeps burning regardless of what anyone else thinks or says. They understand that the work itself is rewarding, and everything else is just background noise. Stop performing your ambition. Start living it. Work when others sleep, build when others complain, improve when others make excuses, and do it all without announcing it to the world. Let your success be the surprise that no one saw coming. 8. Demand excellence from yourself before anyone else does. Stop waiting for someone to push you forward. Stop hoping someone will keep you on track. Stop expecting outside pressure to drive how well you perform. The person you want to become has standards so high that everyone else's expectations look like prizes just for showing up. You've been making deals with yourself for too long, accepting good enough when you're capable of extraordinary things, making excuses that you would never accept from anyone else, letting yourself slide while demanding excellence from everyone around you. Here's the harsh truth: nobody cares about what you could do someday. They only care about what you actually do today. And if you're not demanding excellence from yourself, you're just another person with big dreams and small actions. Raise your standards so high that being average becomes physically painful to you. Make doing ordinary work feel like failure. Create pressure inside yourself so strong that pressure from others becomes meaningless. When you do something, do it like your entire reputation depends on that single action, because it actually does. This means rewriting that letter until it's perfect, even when no one will check your work. Finishing that exercise routine when nobody's watching you. Keeping promises to yourself that nobody else even knows you made. It means treating your own goals with the same seriousness you'd treat the most important business deal of your life. Most people work just hard enough to avoid getting in trouble. They do the minimum required to get by. They save their best effort for when someone important is watching. But you can't build an extraordinary life with ordinary effort that only shows up when someone's checking on you. The people who achieve remarkable things don't need someone standing over them telling them what to do. They don't need a boss threatening them or a coach pushing them. They've built such high standards inside themselves that anything less than their best feels wrong. When you demand excellence from yourself, something interesting happens. Other people start noticing. They see that you care more about the quality of your work than most people care about anything. They see that you finish what you start. They see that you keep improving, even when no one's asking you to. But more importantly, you start respecting yourself. You start trusting yourself. When you consistently do excellent work, even in small things that don't seem to matter, you build confidence that you can handle bigger challenges. This doesn't mean being perfect or never making mistakes. It means giving your honest best effort, learning from what doesn't work, and trying again with even more determination. The person you want to become doesn't need outside motivation to do excellent work. They are their own toughest judge and their own biggest supporter. They've made excellence such a habit that anything less feels like they're betraying themselves. They don't try to match what their competitors are doing. They try to match their own highest standards. Start today. Whatever you're working on right now, ask yourself, is this my best work? If the answer is no, keep working until it is. 9. Play the long game while everyone else chases quick wins. Everyone wants the magic solution, the shortcut, the overnight transformation. They want complete change without investing time. They want success without making sacrifices. While they're chasing quick victories that don't last, you need to be building foundations that will support you for decades to come. The person you want to become isn't created in a month or even a year. They're built through thousands of small decisions, steady actions repeated day after day, and patient persistence when nothing seems to be happening. But nobody wants to hear this truth. Nobody wants to accept that real, lasting change takes significant time and consistent effort. This reality is actually your greatest advantage. While others quit after 2 weeks because they don't see immediate results, you keep working steadily toward your goals. While they jump from one trendy solution to another, hoping to find something easier, you stay focused on the basic principles that actually work. While they're searching for miracle cures and instant fixes, you're doing the unglamorous work that nobody sees or celebrates. Think carefully about where you want to be in 10 years from now. Picture that person in detail, how they think, how they act, what they've accomplished, how others see them. Now, work backwards from that vision. Every single decision you make today is either moving you closer to that future self or pulling you further away from them. That exercise session you're thinking about skipping, that's not just about today's comfort, it's about who you'll be in a decade. That book you keep meaning to read but never start, those professional connections you're not making, those skills you're not developing, they all add up over time, either in your favor or against you. The modern world has trained you to think in terms of immediate results. You want to see progress within days or weeks. You expect rewards quickly. You lose interest when things don't happen fast enough. But this short-term thinking is exactly what keeps most people stuck in mediocrity their entire lives. Stop measuring your progress in days or weeks. Start thinking in terms of decades. The person you want to become isn't worried about appearing successful this month or even this year. They're focused on building success that will last their entire lifetime. They understand that steady, slow progress beats spectacular, fast failure every single time. Consider the most successful people you know or have heard about. Did they achieve their success in a few months? Or did they work consistently for years, often without much recognition, building their skills and reputation slowly over time? The overnight success stories you hear about almost always have years of invisible preparation behind them. This long-term approach requires a level of patience that most people simply cannot handle. It requires having faith in a future that you cannot see yet. It requires continuing to work when there's no immediate reward, no applause, no visible progress. It means doing the right things day after day when nobody notices and nothing seems to change. But here's the secret that makes this approach powerful. When you truly commit to playing the long game, all the pressure and anxiety disappear. You're not racing against anyone else's timeline. You're not worried about impressing people with quick results. You're not stressed about falling behind in some imaginary competition. You're just becoming better, day by day, decision by decision, without the desperate urgency that exhausts most people. This patience also gives you a massive advantage over your competition. While they burn out trying to achieve everything immediately, you're building sustainable habits that will serve you for life. While they get discouraged and quit when results don't come fast enough, you keep improving because you expected it to take time. While they waste energy jumping between different approaches, you stay focused on proven fundamentals. The compound effect of this long-term thinking is extraordinary. Small improvements made consistently over years create results that seem impossible to people who only think short-term. Reading for 30 minutes a day doesn't seem like much, but after 5 years, you've gained knowledge that sets you apart from almost everyone around you. Working out consistently might not show dramatic changes in the first month, but after years of consistency, you have strength and health that most people your age have lost. Your relationships improve the same way. Being slightly more patient, slightly more generous, slightly more reliable in every interaction doesn't create immediate dramatic changes. But over years, people learn to trust you completely. They know you'll keep your word. They know you care about their success, not just your own. This reputation becomes one of your most valuable assets. The choice is entirely yours. You can keep waiting for the perfect moment to start. You can keep planning and researching and hoping for an easier path. You can keep looking for shortcuts and quick fixes that promise everything and deliver nothing. Or you can implement these principles and become completely ruthless about your own transformation, starting immediately. Not tomorrow when you feel more motivated, not next week when your schedule clears up, not next month when conditions are better. Right now, today, with whatever circumstances you're facing, because the person you want to become isn't waiting for permission, comfort, or the perfect moment to arrive. They're already working, already improving, already moving toward their goals. The only question that matters is simple. Are you going to join them and start building your future today? Or are you going to spend another year wondering what your life could have been if you had just begun?